What's up, everybody? My name is Jeremy Jones and I'm back with another video. Today I'm talking my weekly sneaker rotation, so stay tuned.
Got a lot of things changing in my life. Hoping one day I'ma get it all right. Brother is engaged, about to start a new life. Yeah, I haven't had a chill day. Really wanna vibe, appreciate the moments. I've been creating, not scrolling. Mom and dad still support.
Alright, man, I'm back with another video. Now, before I get too deep into this video, y'all already know what to do. Go and hit that like button. It really helps the channel out. And if you're new, consider subscribing. I make content about sneakers. Alright, so let's dive into today's video. Just like I said in the intro, man, I am back with another weekly sneaker rotation. Now, this should be week 141 to the best of my knowledge. Now, of course, if you haven't done so already, man, definitely smash that like button and sub up. And of course, man, sign up for that sold out Discord. The link should be pinned at the top of the comment section. And it is free to sign up. Or, of course, the kid continues the sneaker talk, but we got a food section, a sports section, you name it. So I do my very, very best to try to drop one of these every week. Pretty much, I've been doing this since the beginning of 2023. And here we are, man, pretty much a week 141. So if you want to get a sneak peek, like I said, sign up for the sold out Discord. But enough rambling, let's just go ahead and just get to this weekly sneaker rotation. Now, y'all know I end things off on a Friday, then pick right back up on Saturday. So pretty much this week, you're gonna obviously catch what I wore throughout the week like a trend, right? I kind of stuck with it, right? Okay, so pretty much on Saturday, right? The kid started out in the Yeezy 350 V2s, and these are the blue tints. I remember I picked these joints up from Foot Locker. I don't know what it is. Now, I use these to pick up the Air Jordan 4 Cave Stones, and I don't know. I just felt like Yeezy vibes and being comfortable. And to be honest, while I'll say this, right? The over-exaggeration when it comes to 350 V2s and comfort level back in the day, I'm not talking now because not really too many people actually rock Yeezys, but compared to, I remember when Yeezys was like first coming out or whenever it first cut over to Adidas, and they were very, very hard to come by until, you know, they started to produce more. You had to give time, you had to be patient. Everybody tried to make this seem like this was the most comfortable sneaker in the world. And I will say this, while it is comfortable, it's not that comfortable, right? Okay, and I'll just leave it right there. So pretty much this was my Saturday shoe, was the Yeezy 350 V2 blue tints. Ironically, I think this was my first ever Yeezy sneaker pickup. If not, it was like my second, at least my first for retail anyway, right? So this was my Saturday shoe. Cool. Now let's just move right on to Sunday. Pretty much, you know, I'm in the crib just kind of prepping through the week, man. So as you guys know, I work a full-time job Monday through Friday. So one thing about Sunday, I like to relax, catch up with family, but I also like to make sure that I'm prepared throughout the week. So pretty much that means I was in none other than, yeah, another Yeezy slides, and this is the pure colorway, and yes, my pair are pretty much dog. But these are what I keep behind the house. As you can see, I think the bottom is actually still pretty good on these, other than them just being like naturally dirty. But for the most part, this is a good shoe that I keep right beside the door. My grab and goes, you know what I'm saying? If I want to make a quick errand or, you know, take out the trash, or just pretty much if I'm in the house, I really don't have shoes on if I'm gonna keep it 100. But if I have to step out, which I'm not gonna sit here and say I'm in the house all day. So if I do have to step out for a quick errand, I'm in these right here, man. The Yeezy slides, pure colorway, was my Sunday shoe. Cool, now let's move right on to Monday. The kid right back at work. Like I told you guys, I work a full-time job. So Monday, the kid stepped in none other Yeezy 350 V2, and these are the Zebras. Now this shoe, they've restocked or re-released several times, and this shoe went wild when it first came out, because when it first came out, it was very, very hard to get. Now you can tell my pair I've had for quite some time. One of the issues with this joint is the yellowing. Now I think the most recent pair, they like fixed the yellowing, but I've actually has purchased this shoe like twice. I remember I purchased it on a resale market, sold that pair, and then got this pair like brand spanking new, and yeah, it looks no different than the pair I probably caught for resale like way back in the day, right? Okay, but this is my Monday shoe, Yeezy 350 V2 Zebras. And yeah, I can say, like, to be honest, it's one of those, it probably looks better on feet than it actually does in hands sometimes, because to be honest, man, I'd be like, why do I like this shoe? But then I look at some of the other Yeezys, I'm like, you know what? I still like it, because at the end of the day, can you go wrong with a black and white shoe, right? Okay, so this was my Monday shoe, was a 350 V2 Zebras. Cool. Now we're gonna move right along on to Tuesday, right back at work. Now this one right here, had to wait for it to restock, and I think I ended up having to pay for it on the resale market. But one thing that's good about re-releases or restocks or what have you, it does drive down the value of the sneaker on the resale market. Now, for some people, that's a bad thing, like resellers, but for the people who are just trying to cop stuff for retail, like a true sneakerhead, I like to call it, hey, we're all here for it. So Tuesday, right back at work, Yeezy 350 V2 again. As you already see the trend that I'm pretty much current on with this. This is the red stripe joints right here. Well, it looks more like an infrared, but they're called the red stripes. And I will say this, all over majority black shoe, not all the way black, but you know, majority black, can you really go wrong with it, right? Now this is a shoe that I feel like I need to put a little bit more in rotation. While the comfort is not all the way there, it still needs to be broken in just a little bit. Some people used to say go a half size up. I think I want to half size up on some of my sneakers, but for the most part now, especially since I lost a tad bit of weight, I tend to just stay true to size, man. You know what I'm saying? I think it's just a good go-to. If not, if it is a little too tight, I usually just kind of, you know, rock it out and try to just make sure, you know, I break the shoe in usually, right? Okay, so pretty much this was my Tuesday shoe, was the 350 V2, and these are the red stripes. Cool, now let's move right along onto Wednesday. Now this is probably arguably my favorite Yeezy, right? Okay, and I will say this one I actually hated when it first came out. I hated the wave, no pun intended. There's your hint right there. When these came out, the way people were overly selling these and saying this and the third, until I gave in and bought a pair. And yeah, man, I will say I get a compliment every time I rock this shoe. So on Wednesday, these are the Yeezy Wave Runners, right? Okay, that dad wave when everybody was going on these ones right here. And to be honest, I will say out of all of the Yeezys, right, this one is probably arguably the most comfortable. And now it does feature, I remember we used to do the comparison where it was like Boost versus Air. I will say this one got more Boost, I feel like, compared to the rest of the 350 V2 line. Now this is a different model, different silhouette or what have you, right? But yeah, and I think it features Street M2, and I will say every time I wear these, it's an attention grabber too, man. So I don't regret purchasing any, and I always say this, right? With the gray shoe, it offers a lot of versatility. While it doesn't look like this will go with anything, it actually goes with a lot of fits, right? Okay, so pretty much this was my Wednesday shoe, was the Yeezy Wave Runner. Cool, now we're gonna move right along to Thursday. Now I think I said that in the beginning, like that blue tint was one of my first ones. I think another one that I got for retail too, whenever stuff finally came readily available, but it still wasn't compared to the original. But they did do a reverse, right? And I'm talking 350 V2, and these are the reverse Belugas, right? Or the Beluga 2.0s, if I'm not mistaken. I remember catching these from Foot Locker. Now one of the things that really caught my eye on this shoe, while it's mostly gray, and I've always been a sucker for the color gray, because one thing I've always kind of preached to you guys, and I've always just said through all my videos, gray is that neutral color I feel like you can get away and rock it with everything, because gray, I feel like it just matches everything. Now people will say, nah, it's an all white, or it's an all black, or, you know, I say gray. But to be honest, all three of those colors is a mixture of where you probably get away with, depending on what you know, putting together, you can put a nice fit together with these right here. So pretty much this was my Thursday shoe, was the, I guess you can say Beluga 2.0s if I'm not mistaken. I probably said reverse, but yeah, Beluga 2.0s, Thursday shoe, man. Yeah, and these ones I think I did go half size up until finally I figured out the sizing that works best for me, right? Okay, so this was my Thursday shoe. Cool, now we're gonna move right on to Friday to close out the week. Now this one I really wanted my hands on. Now I believe, if I've got to go back and watch my lives, I did actually cop these on when they used to do Yeezy Day back on on Adidas, right? Through the app, the Confirm app, and I think I actually caught these for retail, if I'm not mistaken. Arguably my favorite shoe in my collection, or one of them from the Yeezy line, okay? It's a different market, you know what I'm saying? And this is obviously the Yeezy V1, and these are the Turtle Doves. Now, I feel like this, again, I just kind of proved my point with how much I really like the color gray and the versatility that it brings to the table. You can rock these with jeans, you can rock this with just almost about anything. And again, you can tell this is obviously inspired off of Roshe, but super duper comfortable, man. It's something where I wouldn't say you want to be doing any type of like hard labor work in these, but as far as you're just looking like you got to put shoes on, but you want to be comfortable, you're going to be moving around and stuff like that, this is that shoe. And I feel like it fits just right where it's not too tight. Now I will say this, it's still not the most comfortable out of the whole Yeezy line. I'm still going to give that to the Wave Runner, but I feel like these are a nice runner up. I think the V2s, you would think they should be more comfortable, but to be honest, I think the V1s are still it holds the icing on the cake, man. So pretty much this was my Friday shoe, was the Yeezy V1, and these are the Turtle Doves. Cool, man. So pretty much that completes my weekly sneaker rotation for this week. Y'all sign off in the comment section and let me know what you wore throughout the week as well. I know I'm behind on the comment section, but I'm gonna do my very, very best to get caught up. Other than that, man, y'all smash that like button, sub up to the channel if you haven't done so already. Of course, y'all know my name is Jeremy Jones, and I'm officially out, man. Peace.